Identity formation. Ask the question, who am I? How do you get to know who you are? You got to find out your beliefs. Your beliefs dictate your thoughts, and your thoughts dictate your actions. It dictates how you show up. So last night you were going to go in the mirror and you were going to write down all the things about yourself. And Ashley, I did receive your email, and it was a very, very good identification form on Mirror Me. What you see when you look in the mirror. Then you're supposed to make another list, and you're supposed to write down your ideal self. Your ideal self. And then do some simple arithmetic. What is the difference between your ideal self and the self you see in the mirror? So let's just say that your ideal self was numero 2, and who you see in the mirror is number 1. Okay. So ideal self, take away mirror self equals what? 2 minus 1 equals 1. What is the 1? What is the 1? What is the difference between the ideal self and the self you see in the mirror? Is it assertiveness? Is it a lack of self-love? What is it that you need so that the mirror self can be seen as the ideal self, or can become the ideal self? Because you may already be your ideal self, but you can't see it because you're so caught up in the belief that you have about yourself. And again, most of the beliefs that we have, we don't even agree with. Wow, this is heavy tonight. Do y'all feel this? What's the difference between the two? It's simple arithmetic. Someone might say it's believing in myself again. Someone might say it's believing in myself, period. I've never believed in myself. And you might say, I never believed in myself because I don't know myself. No, it doesn't really work that way. You don't believe in yourself if you don't trust yourself, because you don't love yourself. And usually you don't love yourself because early on when you were a child, probably some pretty ugly things were said, or nothing was said about you at all. So the self, the seat of you is empty, or the seat of you has a lot of frayed words that the church might want to call word curses and things that were spoken over you that's not true because you were raised by toxic people. In either situation, we've got work to do. And it's not as hard as it feels tonight. It feels hard because you're on the other side of this screen and you're probably by yourself. So it feels harder. But once you get into session and you start getting help, I'm telling you, most people around the 5th or 6th session start saying, I see my growth. They see the growth and they hold on to it because they may not see it again for 6 months. And then all of a sudden they'll say, I see it. I have a client that started with me during COVID, during 2019. And she comes every single week and she doesn't miss a week. She's a weekly client. And she's just starting now to love herself and to understand that she didn't love herself. And it wasn't because she hated herself. Sometimes we can't think of everything as black and white, as the opposite of. No one taught her that. And then she started to realize, man, I am so hard on myself. Wow, I never give myself a break. I never give myself any kind of compassion. I don't give myself any credit for anything at all. But I've got a list of all the things that's flawed with me. But I can't say one good thing about myself. And we've been together every single week, the same day, the same time since 2019. And starting around November, December of last year, she started getting a turnaround and it started clicking and it started coming around. Take yourself to Starbucks. And I don't mean literally. I'm just saying, take yourself on a date and start out at first base with yourself. Get to know yourself. You're beautiful, wonderful, made in an image and a likeness of the living God. Oh, what a wonderful place you need to explore and go. So finish that work if you haven't started it. If you started it, you're going to be working on it all year. So just save it. And then if we can move down to step 3. self-esteem versus self-worth. And then I want to hit personality if I can before we go. Can you believe it's the time already? Number 3, coming from our same material, self-esteem versus self-worth. Self-esteem is a similar concept to self-worth, but with a small, although important, difference. Self-esteem is what we think, feel, and believe about ourselves. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Come on, we're just alone in the office. It's just you and I. This is your one-on-one private session. Take that nice breath in your nose. Come on. Breathe out your mouth. Now trust yourself and just close your eyes for a moment while I read this to you. And if you are a seer, this should be easy for you. If you need help seeing, I want you to get a visualization. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. You're not being judged or credited for it. I want you to just close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to tell me what you see when I read this to you. Self-esteem is what you think. What are you thinking about? Self-esteem is what you feel. What are you feeling? Keep your eyes closed. Give yourself that place of peace. This is introspection. This is spending some time on meditation and retrospection of yourself, introspection of yourself. What do you believe about yourself? Stay there. I want to do it again. Stay there for another minute. Self-esteem is a similar concept to self-worth, but with a small, although important, difference. Come on, feel, smell, picture this with me. Self-esteem is what you think. What are your thoughts like? Self-esteem is what you feel. What do you feel? And self-esteem is what you believe about yourself. What do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that we are valuable human beings worthy of love? When you're ready, just open your eyes. And if anything came to mind, write it down quickly, pop it up here in the chat if you can. Because that's you. You just felt you. You just checked in with you. Self-esteem is what you think. I don't think happy thoughts. Be honest. Most of the time, my thoughts aren't happy. Well, I'm going to help you with that. But at least be honest with who you are on January 4th, because it's not going to be who you are on January 31st. What do you think? What do you feel? And what do you believe about you? That's your self-worth right there. I see a wonderful transparent comment here. I think I deserve better than what I've been giving myself. Do you hear that comment? Not what others have been giving me, because we are the end result of our relationships. I think I deserve better than what I've been giving myself. I feel ashamed that I haven't treated myself better. I believe it's time to make a change. Absolutely. 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 100%. I need to treat myself better. I see not good enough, emptiness, more negative than positive. I see myself in a black suit with a white shirt sitting behind a wooden desk. Powerful. That I'm blemished. I'm not happy and as lively as I used to be. Unhappy with self at the moment. I need to love my flaws and all. I felt beautiful and like I can conquer all things. I believe I need to love me first. I went back to my childhood when my mom used to say, I'm just like my father. I know who I am. I see not smart enough. You see? Who am I? You just answered it. Now, what did we learn on last night that we need to pull into tonight? Acknowledge the truth about these feelings and these thoughts and these beliefs. Acknowledge them, that they're there and they exist. Don't be like, girl, stop talking like that. You're talking for don't do it. Honor them. You honor bad behavior. You know how you do that? You acknowledge it. You have to. When you ignore things, you give it a pass. Acknowledge these thoughts and these feelings. Acknowledge what came into your mind. Acknowledge what you have written down. Acknowledge it. And then once you acknowledge it, give it honor. You know what gives it honor mean? It doesn't mean respect it. It doesn't mean treat it right. Give it an official, honorable burial. Bury him. Rip it up. I'm starting all over again. I'm starting from the beginning because these thoughts are not my thoughts. These aren't even the thoughts that God has about me. These thoughts are passed down to me. These thoughts came because no thoughts were ever given to me. I was never told I was good at anything. So these are things that were perceived. And then on the other hand, there's someone who say, these are the things that I believe about myself that were said to me by other people who didn't believe much about themselves. And then you have the other people on the other hand. No one ever said anything. I mean, no one ever said anything I was good at or anything that I accomplished or anything that I was confident with. I've never heard anything about me. So I just go through life and I try to make the best of it. You got two things going on here. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it exists. Do not disrespect yourself. Acknowledge that it exists. And then honor it with a proper burial. Today, I'm starting over. I'm not going to tear it up and ignore it because I need to see that it's there. Because when I'm off, I need to realize this is how I think when I'm off. And this is the person that I'm going for. So on self-esteem and self-worth, which is number 3 in our book, what I want you to write down here, you're going to continue with a part of the mirror me, but I want you to write down, what is your opinion of yourself? So this means I need you to step out of yourself, look back at yourself, and write down an opinion of yourself. So you can't go by the inside. If someone was looking back at you, what would you think of you? Because some of y'all know we got some powerful looks going on. What's your outside? What's your external opinion of yourself? And I want you to write the whole list. I dress well for a heavy set woman. I do the best with my hair. I get compliments on my hair and I don't have much at all, whatever it may be. Just write it down. And then what I need you to do next to the list of opinions of yourself, I want you to put a value next to it. And you can do 1 to 5, how much you value that about yourself, or you can put it in a dollar amount. What is the opinion of yourself that you have? What is the opinion of yourself that you have? And when I say opinion, I want you to talk about the things that you do well. You know, I like how you make a style out of this. I like how you laugh. I like how you're honest. I like just what's your opinion of yourself? And not just overall, name them, list them. And then next to them, put a numerical amount next to how much you value that. If you like the fact that you've been knocked down, but you keep getting up, write that down. I value the fact that I keep getting back up. And to me, that's worth $1 million because I would be dead if I didn't have that about me. She's good to speak. She's always serious. She's always wearing black. She's always in sweatpants and a ponytail. She's always doing for everyone and so helpful and kind. Wow. The list goes on and on. Rid myself of some of the front row seaters that should not be there. Those that think they know, yet always critiquing what's said. Doesn't make me feel bad, but angry. I'm going to love myself just as much as I love others. One of the biggest problems is that I tend to push away the good people in my life and pull the bad people into my life. This is self-awareness. Good job. Was that Natalie? I think the name that I saw up there was Natalie. Natalie, this 30 days is about self-awareness. You just hit self-awareness on the head. Good job. Come on, y'all. Let's give it up for Natalie. Good job. Because all I need you to get right now is exposure to yourself. I need you to become self-aware about yourself. And you just have a great moment of self-awareness where you realize you push those good people out of your life, but for some reason you pull closer negative people or people that are not good for you. Look at them clapping for you, Natalie. And Natalie, I can profile you in 30 seconds and tell you why you do that. So we're going to work through that together in these 30 days. Good job. So this is your soul work for tonight. Write down a list of the opinion of yourself, the good, the not so good, and the different. Because some things that we think are not good, somebody else could use in our life and pay us great money for it. So everything that you think isn't good isn't always not good. You'd be surprised, especially in the world we're in now. Some of these bad habits, people getting paid for them. So write down your opinion of yourself, the good, not so good, the indifferent. And then next to it, I want you to put a value on it. You can use a dollar amount of what it's worth to you, or you can put it on a scale from 1 to 5, however works best for you. And that's your work for tonight, coming from our group therapy book. Man, if I can steal just 2 more minutes, can I steal 2 more minutes of your time? I know we're over session, but I wonder if I can just steal 2 more minutes of your time. Yes. Carla says yes. Can I get one more yes? Yes, yes, and yes. All right. Just 2 more minutes of your time. I want to hit this so we don't lose here, because this is where we're going to go tomorrow with the next assessment. There are key areas for self-awareness. Key areas. Write it down in your journal. Key areas for self-awareness, and they include our personality traits, personal values, habits, emotions, and psychological needs. This will be up for replay on YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. Please, 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 please. And if you can get a bunch of others to subscribe to YouTube, I'll give you one of the books for free. We'll work some things out, but we need YouTube to get up there. Key areas for self-awareness include our personality traits, personal values, habits, emotions, psychological needs. Where do I need to hit tonight? Personality. Everybody has one. Personalities are not easily changed. In the field of psychology, some people believe that personality never changes, that your personality is formed in the first 6 to 8 years of your life, and that's what you're stuck with for the rest of your life. But new psychological research and testing has determined, which I've always agreed with, that personalities do change, but they're not easily changed because they are instilled beliefs about ourselves. So let me continue. Personalities are not easily changed. Values and needs are based on what we learn about ourselves. Unfortunately, understanding our personality, I'm sorry, I don't want to say unfortunately. Fortunately, understanding our personality can help us find in what environment we can sustain ourselves. Awareness of our personality helps us analyze such a decision. Let me read it again. These are the traits, the key areas of self-awareness: personality traits, personal values, habits, emotions, psychological needs. The first one we're going to hit tonight is personality. Personalities are not easily changed. Values and needs are based on what we learn about ourselves. Understanding our personality can help us find in what environment we can sustain. Awareness of our personality helps us analyze such a decision. For instance, let me bring it home. If you are a highly introverted person, you are likely to experience more stress in a sales position than a highly extroverted person would. So if you are highly introverted, someone who likes to be alone by themselves, into themselves, not egotistically, just more home-based, you should either learn skills to cope with the demand of a sales position that requires the extrovert type personality and behavior patterns, or you should find a position that is more compatible with your personality. Do you get it now? Do you get a better picture of personality? Awareness of your personality helps you analyze such a decision. Awareness of your personality helps you analyze such a decision. If you know your personality type, it will help you to understand what type of job you should look for. A lot of us are in jobs because we were simply hired, or we were actually good at doing that, but we would also be good at doing 99 other things as good as we are with that. But that's not the position that brings out our best personality. There's a job based on your personality. Can I go a little deeper? There is a relationship based on your personality, because personalities are developed during our first most crucial years of being on this earth. They are very hard to change. You can curve the personality just a little bit and bring some changes in life. But for the most years of therapy is what it would really help to change your personality. But small changes do happen. I've seen them. But if you don't know your personality, you're going to be in jobs that don't produce the best in you, jobs that don't make you happy. You're going to be involved in relationships that don't bring out the best in you. Let's just say opposites attract, and you're an introvert. I was highly surprised to find out that I was an introvert. I always thought I was an extrovert because I love people. I love talking. I love sharing knowledge. But what I didn't realize is after those three things that I just mentioned are done, I'm exhausted. I'm mentally and physically fatigued because I'm an introvert, and it takes everything I got in me to do those things. And when they're done, I'm flatlined because I'm an introvert. If I was an extrovert, I would get more energy and more zeal and more passion when I did those things. It would bring out the extrovert in me. But I didn't realize that I had skills and gifts in these areas, but my personality type was introvert. And I'm more refreshed and alert and awake in the house with a book, in the house with a movie, taking long drives alone, being out in the car in a rainstorm, driving out during the snow when everybody else is away. Do you get it? So when you learn your personality type, you are also learning who am I, because your personality has been formed by your beliefs. Identity formation. So what am I going to do to wrap us up with this tonight? I'm going to send out a link for a personality assessment. We're going to send out a link to each and every one of you for a personality assessment. Very good. I'd like to hear about yours, Carla. If you have time, email me. I'm definitely an introvert. Wow. That's me, introvert. Wow. Rochelle's an introvert. That's me. And usually one of the signs you can tell you're an introvert, you are emotionally depleted after people. Like I could go out and literally become the life of a party. But when it's time for me to go, I can literally feel myself just going into myself and just like becoming wallpaper, becoming just invisible in this room that I just preached and maybe had people shouting for the whole evening. I can literally feel that I've just disappeared in this room of 1,000 people that I was just once in very much of control of because I'm an introvert. Does that help you a little bit? Thank you. Introvert. Ronnie, you too, you think? Good, good. I really want to see what it is. That's me. I'm an introvert on demand, extrovert. I got you. Oh my God, Apostle, stop. Yep. So to wrap us up tonight, to help you get to know you a little bit more, to enjoy your first date with yourself at Starbucks, if you can at least answer the question when asked, who are you? You can start out with, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. And in that, you can begin to share the things that you like doing as an introvert or the things that you like doing as an extrovert. Remind yourself that opposites attract. So a lot of introverts are going to be fascinated with an extrovert, and you're going to attract and you're going to make relationship. That's later on going to make sparks that may turn to fire, that may turn to fumes, that may turn to burning logs and buildings of relationship that's on fire. because opposites attract. I'm fascinated with the extrovert who can go around and take control of a room for hours and hours and get up in the morning and be the first one up and ready to go to breakfast and just take over the room for hours and hours and be ready for the workshop at noontime and just socialize and talk to everyone. And I'm just exhausted watching. I'm like, can I go back to my room, please? But opposites do attract. So in relationship, whether it's domestic or just with your friends, you may be with the opposite because they fascinate you. An extrovert may be fascinated with an introvert. I'm fascinated with how you could sit in the house for 2 or 3 days and read a book by yourself, how you can cook a meal, watch a movie, do laundry, and haven't talked to anyone in 3 days. An extrovert might be fascinated. They don't want it. They don't desire it, but they're fascinated with it, which would cause us to connect with opposites instead of our similar personality types. So you may be exhausting one another because you're opposites. And the oppositeness is what attracted you. But now in the relationship, it's exhausting you. What do we do? How do we work around that? You got to know who you are. And you've got to know the type of people you can have in your life, the type of person you can do life with. That's Q. All right. So I'm done for tonight. Ebony will be sending out the personality assessment. Unfortunately, it's not my own. So it's going to come from another site. And they're going to give you an opportunity at the end of answering those questions. They're going to give you an opportunity to have those few questions emailed to you. Make sure you go slow and you read it and say, yes, email it to me, because you and I may want to talk about it, or you and your coach may want to talk about it. And then they'll have a link after that that says read your whole profile. I mean, they do it up for you for free. And it's not Myers and Briggs, so it's not a little difficult. This is layman's terms for all of us. I'm an adventurer. And as soon as I saw myself, I was like, oh my God, this still describes me to a T. Who needs anything else when you have these personality assessments? And then you'll find out what's your weaknesses, things to stay away from, things you should be strengthened in, what's your strengths, who are the best people to connect with for you, and how to be the better self that you are. Because at least we can learn on the 5th day, because tomorrow's going to be January 5th, but our 4th day, you're going to be able to learn. When I ask you, who am I? You're going to say, I'm an introvert that loves extroverts because I love da, 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 da. But as an introvert, I love da, 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 da. And you're going to be able to say, I spent Starbucks with myself. I took myself to first base on a first date, and I know who I am. And then we can go down and start controlling some of those thoughts that you have and some of the actions that are now taking over your life because you have beliefs that you don't agree with and they need to go. All right, my time is done. It looks like Joycey and Gwen Tucker says they're done as well. I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. This was awesome tonight. Good. That's what I needed to see. I'm loud and something else. I missed that one. But there we go. LaTanya's putting it up for us. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please don't forget to email us at soulutioncoaches@gmail.com. SOULUTION coaches@gmail.com. If you forget any of this, you can go back to YouTube, do a replay, and you can always go to the website. You can contact us without typing an email. You can go to the contact us page. You can go to the About Us page. You can go to the shop page. Just click, 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 and we'll get to you with any questions that you have. I bless you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ tonight, and I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Thank you for spending this time with me, allowing me to be your online mental health coach. Invite a friend or two on tomorrow night. But most of all, please give me the honor of acknowledging this work by hitting like and share, even if you share it in your own inbox to share with others later. God bless you. I love you, and good night.
Let it